It's 5 rock stars with hidden talents. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Book. Now remember, before we start, if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe and share our videos. We'd appreciate that. We start with Brian May. He's the lead guitarist of the band Queen. As well as being an extraordinary guitarist, he also wrote many of Queen's hits, including We Will Rock You, I Want It All, Fat Bottom Girls, Flash, Hammer to Fall, Save Me, Who Wants to Live Forever, and The Show Must Go On. They are, of course, one of the most successful rock bands in history. And his hidden talent, Brian May has a PhD in astrophysics at the University of London. He got his A-levels in physics, mathematics, and applied mathematics, going on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Physics with honors at Imperial College London. May went for his PhD, continuing at Imperial College in 1970, but in 1974 put the doctorate aside to focus on Queen, which of course became a huge success. He re-registered for his doctorate in 2006 and handed in his thesis in 2007, earning him a PhD degree in astrophysics. The guitarist was also the chancellor of Liverpool John Moores University from 2008 to 2013, and he was a science team collaborator with NASA's New Horizons Pluto mission. Pretty impressive. Sammy Hagar, also known as the Red Rocker. At first, he was known as a member of the band Montrose from 73 to 75, had a solo hit called I Can't Drive 55, and then replaced David Lee Roth in Van Halen. There's always been 2 camps concerning Van Halen lead singers. Officially, there were 3 singers, but it's Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth. That's where the debates start. Some like both incarnations, others need to pick a side. Hagar sang on some of the band's biggest hits. Why Can't This Be Love, a number 3 hit from 5150. Then the top 5 hit When It's Love from OU812. And from the same album, Finish What You Started. The 90s were great to Van Halen and Sammy Hagar, starting with the album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and hits like Pound Cake, Runaround, Top of the World, and Right Now. In the mid-90s, there was Balance, featuring the number 1 U.S. mainstream hit. Well, a lot of these were number 1 U.S. mainstream hits. Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. Number 2 hit, Can't Stop Loving You. Hagar is a master distiller. He founded Cabo Wabo Tequila, the brand and the restaurant chain, as well as the beach bar Rum. When he was asked how he balanced being a rock star and a tequila mogul, Hagar responded, I always had other people doing everything. It was my palate and my concept. I would go in, taste, and say, leave this in the barrel a little bit longer. That was my job. I could do that right before I went on stage. That's the perfect time to do it. And speaking of Van Halen, David Lee Roth. He was the band's first major lead singer, singing on that cover of the Kinks' You Really Got Me in 1978 for that monumental debut album. There were album hits that are still getting played today, like Running with the Devil. The following year, Dance the Night Away from Van Halen 2, and Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Fair Warning in 1981 gave us So This Is Love and Unchained. Diver Down gave us another cover, Roy Orbison's Oh Pretty Woman. But then came his last album with the band, at least for that incarnation, 1984. And the huge hit Jump, I'll Wait, Panama, Hot for Teacher. Roth was a state-licensed emergency medical technician in New York. He says, I wasn't someone until I put on that 511 uniform and went on my first call. I'm not going to kid you. I knew I was in for a humbling experience, he told CBS Sunday Morning. By the way, David Lee Roth had a dad who was a surgeon, and his uncles and cousins were also in the medical community. So that's where his interest was sparked. Joni Mitchell, known as one of the most prolific and talented singers in the history of the rock era, with albums like, well, her first from 68, Song to a Seagull, Clouds, Ladies of the Canyon, the momentous album Blue from 71, a big pop breakthrough with Court and Spark in 74. Then there was her jazz era, Hejira, Mingus. She went more 80s pop, but still just as interesting as ever, with While Things Run Fast, Dog Eat Dog, Chalkmark in a Rainstorm. Her biggest hits were Big Yellow Taxi and Carrie, You Turn Me On a Radio, Help Me, Free Man in Paris, Coyote, How Do You Stop? And let's not forget that classic song from the album Blue that has become, since, a Christmas song, River. Mitchell became a successful painter. She also designed many of her album covers. These days, she loves to focus mostly on her visual art, which, by the way, she does not sell. displays only on rare occasions. She once said her love of language and visual expression was inspired by an English teacher who once told her, if you can paint with a brush, you can paint with words. It's a sentiment that would remain with her throughout her life. In fact, she dedicated her debut album to that teacher. Roger Daltrey. He, along with Pete Townsend, John Entwistle, and Keith Moon, redefined what rock was all about. They certainly were their own band, delivering rock operas like Tommy, one of the best albums in rock history, Who's Next? Another one that became a visual sensation, Quadrophenia. The last with Keith Moon, Who Are You? And there were the top 10 hits, like I Can't Explain, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere, My Generation, Substitute, I'm a Boy, Happy Jack, Pictures of Lily, I Can See for Miles, the classic Pinball Wizard, and in the 70s, Won't Get Fooled Again, Join Together. Daltrey is a trout farmer. Lake Down Trout Fishery was originally designed for his 400 acres estate. He says, I ended up with 4 interconnected lakes and could invite all my old workmates from the sheet metal factory to come fishing. He told Sussex Life they would sit there by the water and tell me it was criminal to keep all this to yourself. And of course, they were right. So I opened Lake Down Trout Fishery to the public, and I met a lot of people who were more interested in fish than a rock star. There you have it. 5 rock stars with hidden talents. Have any ideas? Share your thoughts. Make sure you comment on our videos. We'd love that. And remember, subscribe to our channel. This is Rock History Book.